Hello everybody. So today I'm going to be giving you a quick tour of my camper van Neville. Neville is a VW T5 short wheelbase. I've owned Neville for around about 3 years now, and over that time I have transformed him all myself into what you see today. So when I first got Nev, he was a little bit rough around the edges. He did need a little bit of TLC, but I'm proud of where I've got so far. It is still a work in progress. There are still things I want to do and I'm going to do. I'll run through them with you. We'll have a little look around the van, see what I've done so far. I'll try and tally up how much I've spent at the end of the video. I will put like a little price guide up to say how much I've spent, and hopefully that will answer the question, how much does it cost to build your own camper van? So this is Neville. Neville wasn't always grey. When I originally got him he was black. As I said a little while ago, he did need some TLC. Bodywork wasn't in the best of condition, scratches, dents, etc. I tried my very best to sort that out. I'm not a bodywork person at all. I've done the best I could, again, as I have with everything. It does now need some more work. A lot of the rust has come back, it needs repairing, and the spray job isn't great. Plus, I will never ever have another vehicle with matte paint, ever, because it is a nightmare. You can't keep it clean, you can't clean it, it marks, and a lot of the time it really, in my eyes, looks atrocious. But at the end of the day, I still love him. So I've done things cosmetically, like fitting the T5.1 front end, the Sportline front end. I think it kind of jazzes the front end up a little bit, if that's the right word. It was bonnet, grills, headlights, splitter. I've also fitted the wheels, they're 20-inch wheels. I've lowered the van about 100mm, I think it was, on coilovers, so I can raise that up if needs be. I might actually do that, because if I go wild camping and everything, it can be an absolute nightmare with potholes and bumps and everything. But I love the look of how it sits now. You know, if the paintwork was a lot better, then yeah, I would be 100% happy with how he looks now. I've also fitted the side steps here. I really like them. I think they make the van look a little bit wider, look a little bit lower. So yeah, I really like them. This is a prime example of the paint as well. I filled up with diesel yesterday and I managed to spill a little bit and it won't come off. You can't clean it off. So yeah, this is what I mean about this matte finish paint. So I have also fitted a Fiamma wind out awning, which I think is an absolutely brilliant addition to the van. The eagle-eyed among you might notice that this is actually meant for a long wheelbase van. Neville is short wheelbase. I picked this up at such a bargain price that I couldn't let it go. I paid £200 for this. And if you buy these new, they're around about £1,000. You know, it's in really good condition. It was easy enough to fit a long wheelbase one to a short wheelbase. I just moved the brackets a little bit. I had to get a couple of extra bits and pieces. But yeah, I really, really do like it. Plus, it's got a built-in door rail. So when I go camping, I can put that out and then I can put my other awning on the end of that. So yeah, that is a brilliant addition. And like I say, when it's out, you get so much room underneath it. As you can see, absolutely perfect. You know, you've got enough room in here for quite a few people. If you want to have a little table out here, sit out here in the summer evening, or even, you know, if it's getting a little bit chilly, sit out here, wrap up. You can have dinner out here, undercover. I have also got a windbreaker that will go around here, so it'll sort of stop the wind from blowing in. But yeah, absolutely brilliant, and probably one of the biggest bargains that I've ever bought for the van. So moving on to the inside of the van, we have the bed. If you're going to sleep in a van, you need a bed. Now this is a 3/4 rock and roll bed. It's got a gas assisted strut in the frame, so it is a lot easier to put up and down than it would be if you didn't have the strut. This was quite expensive. Reason being is that I do take the kids in here. As you can see, I've got the seat belts in the back, and it was a crash tested and MOT approved bed stroke chair. You can't put a price on safety, so if you are going to carry passengers in here, I would definitely recommend that you go for something that is crash tested and MOT approved. There are different variations you can get. There's rib beds, there's the Rusty Lee style beds, there's also the U-shaped beds which you can't carry passengers in. It's all personal preference really. It depends what you want and how much that you want to pay. So as you can see, you've got a decent amount of space when the bed is folded out. Lengthwise is really good. I'm not the tallest person in the world, but I fit on it perfectly with room to spare. And you've easily got enough room for 2 people here. It's a bit cosy, but it's nice. The cushions on it, as they are quite comfortable, but I do have a quite a thick memory foam topper that I put on top of here as well. Obviously then with the bottom sheet and the duvet and everything. It is actually really cosy. And just to quickly demonstrate how easy they are to put away when they've got the gas assisted struts on them. Am I in there? Oh, there I am. So what I do is I pull out the seat belt to its full extension. I stand here and I just pull like that. So it's as easy as that. There's a little clip under here which you put across, and there we go, all locked in place. When you put the bed away, don't forget to put that clip across. So we have a 12 volt Dometic CR50 fridge in here. This strictly runs off 12 volts, and I leave this on all the time. If I'm not using the van, I turn it down to its lowest setting, but my leisure battery and my solar panel will keep this running indefinitely. As you can see, you've got a decent amount of space in there. You've got a freezer on the top section and the rest of it's a fridge. You can alter it, so you take that top section out and the whole unit becomes a freezer. That does use a lot of power though. I think the fridge freezer is an absolute essential in a van. It is an absolute godsend if you're buying food that you're going to cook later on a barbecue or on the stove. You know, you keep it in the fridge there. Ice cubes if you want a few tasty cocktails when you're away. You keep them in the freezer. So yeah, absolute godsend. Another brilliant buy, and something that I'm really glad I did fit into the van. And then moving upwards a little bit, we have the Dometic double gas burner and sink combination. I must say, I hardly use the sink. If I could go back, I probably would have just fitted the double burners and not the sink. That all comes as one unit, but you can get them separate. So I would have just fitted the sink. Sorry, I'll rephrase that. I would have just fitted the gas burner. I do cook in here. I've never had any problems with smells. I know some people say that sometimes you get horrible smells in the van and they linger, but I've never had any problems with that. So that could also be down to this. This is one of my most favourite things in the van. So this is just a little silly Glade sense and smell thing, but the actual scent I use in there is called Beach Waves and Sunny Days, I think it is, and it is Nev smell. So it smells absolutely amazing, and like I said, it just is Nev smell. It reminds me of Nev. When I'm driving along, it sometimes sprays out, and I will say to myself, Beach Waves and Sunny Days. So a little bit sad, I know, but it's the little things, isn't it? So then we have the actual kitchen units, which they call the kitchen units. Quite a decent amount of storage there in there. At the back of there, I'll show you this in a sec. So all my electrics sit behind there. I've got two storage cupboards here. My gas locker and my gas bowl sits in that one there on that side, and I've got two water bottles in there which I rarely use because I rarely use the sink. We've also got this little top locker here where I keep little bits and pieces. You've got this little bit here where I keep all my cutlery, etc. And under the swivel seat there, you've also got a decent amount of storage. This lifts up here. Hold on. So yeah, you've got a decent amount of storage under there as well. So the swivel base was another great investment, I feel. Even though it is a total pain to swivel around sometimes, and I always forget how to do it, I think that swiveled round like that gives you so much more space, because that totally opens up that area there. And as you see, it also matches the rock and roll bed interior. So both seats, the captain seat at the front there and that, they both match the interior, which is the VW tartan grey and blue. And then we have my little table here, little fold-away table. It's just got this single leg here, clips onto this rail here, and folds away neatly and tucks behind the front seat there, the driver's seat. A couple of little brackets that fits in, slots down, and you lock it in place. So yeah, brilliant little addition as well. So as I said, in that cupboard there sits all my electrical system. I wired this all up myself, made up the little board in the back there with the trunk and on. I have a CBE PC210 system. That is probably a little bit overkill for the van, if I'm honest with you, but I want to kind of future-proof it. You've got a DC charger in there, you've got a split charge system. I've also got the Victron MPPT, the 7515 MPPT. I've got 175 watt solar panel on the roof, and I've got a 120 amp hour AGM battery, and that sits, where's my finger? That sits down there in that little cupboard at the bottom there. So we have the CBE control panel up the top here. There's my finger again. That tells you battery voltages, temperatures, water levels, etc. Obviously the light switches, oh god, the light switches in the middle here, and we have some 240 volt and USB sockets down here. I have various lights in the van. I have some strip lights, posted around, as you can see. They're all controlled via the switches that I just showed you, as you can see here. I do have little kickboard lights down there, if I can find the right switch for them, there. And then we do have the main lights in the ceiling there. I will turn them on. So the main lights are two-way switched. They are switched from these switches over here, and they are also switched by a dimmer switch just by the door. I also forgot to mention that you have a decent amount of storage under the rock and roll bed. This little bit here flips down. I need to stop putting my finger in front of the camera. So yeah, this flips down here, and I keep things like, I've got an inflatable sofa, I know, that I keep under there, my stove that I use outdoors, and just various other bits and bobs. Okay, so that is a quick tour of Neville. I think that kind of about wraps it up. There is more I still want to do to the van. Like I said, it is a work in progress. I think it always will be a work in progress, to be honest. Obviously I need to sort out the bodywork. That needs to be done sooner rather than later. Am I going to try and do it again myself? I don't know. I have got a video on my channel of me doing the spray job, so you know, if you'd like to go and have a look at that, if you haven't already, then you know, please feel free. One thing I do want to do is, Neville has got windy front windows, and it bugs the absolute hell out of me. It's really annoying. I can't open the passenger side window if I'm driving the van and I need to, so I am going to get an electric window kit at some point, so I will do a video of me fitting that, a bit of a how-to, you know, what are they like, etc. So what did Neville cost me to build? So the van cost me £5,000, and having a tally up of everything that I've spent on the van, I've spent around about another £10,000. Things like the rock and roll bed, £1,200 to £1,400. The furniture, the kitchen units, £1,100. The electrical setup with everything, about £1,500. Things like wheels, front bumpers, Sportline kits. They're not essentials, obviously, but it is how I wanted the van to be. It's how I envisioned it. All of that was probably £2,000–3,000 with the suspension. Things like the fridge, the hob, you know, together they're around about £600–700. One thing I didn't mention in the video actually is the ceiling and the splashback and the floor, which you've probably seen in the videos I've been sort of moving around. When I originally built the van, I had anthracite carpet on the ceiling and the splashback, and I had a grey lino for the floor. I'll try and put a picture up here to show you what that looked like. I always felt it was too dark. It made the interior of the van look very dark. I was saying dark, and I just realised that these lights weren't on, which are probably going to help with the actual colour of the video, so I'll just flick those on. Yeah, so now I began to look at how can I sort of lighten the interior up, make it look a bit brighter, and a company called Van Furniture based in Thetford, I got in contact with them. Absolutely brilliant. Again, I have got another video on the channel of me fitting the ceiling, the floor and the splashback, so if you want to check that out, please feel free. But it's totally transformed the van, and I absolutely love the look that it's given it in here with this sort of ceiling and everything, so it looks really, really nice. So all in all, the van probably cost me around about £15,000 I think to build, and that is building it myself. There's no labour charges on there. I haven't got a pop top. If you add a pop top in, you're looking between £3,000 to £5,000 for a pop top from what I've seen. If you're going to pay somebody else to build the van, you've got thousands of pounds worth of labour there as well. So I've got things flying around in here. I haven't mentioned things like carpet in the walls or the insulation in the walls. Everything is all insulated. The floor, the ceiling, the walls, they're all insulated with sound deadening, foil, bubble wrap type stuff, insulation, and then I used a recycled bottle plastic insulation, that's the one. So yeah, that's all done, and then I boarded the van out and then carpeted over with a 4-way stretch carpet. All of that in itself, you're probably looking at well over £1,000 for that as well, and labour costs for that, they're going to be really high. So I think if you took your van to a company somewhere and said, can you convert this into a full camper, you're probably looking at around about, not including the cost of the van, £10,000 to £15,000, maybe more, I don't know. I see a lot of things on Facebook, people selling vans, you know, older vans, 2005, 6, 7, 8 onwards, and they're asking, you know, £10,000 to £15,000 for them. If you want to convert a van yourself, it's going to cost you that to do it. Whether you've got the knowledge and skills to do that or not, I would recommend giving it a go. You know, it's been a fun journey for me building this, and like I say, hasn't ended, it probably never will end, but I have really enjoyed it. I'm going to wrap this up now finally. So I'm in nature, so I'm going to go for a nice walk around the forest, and I will catch you on the next video. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and thank you very much for watching. Oh, I'm back. I forgot to mention one thing. So in my last video, at the start of my last video, I mentioned about how I had been having problems with anxiety and panic disorder. So a bit of an announcement. I have decided to make another YouTube channel. This may be of interest to some of you, it may not. If it doesn't, you know, you can obviously switch off now. But I've made the channel, I haven't recorded any videos yet. I'm still trying to get my head around what I'm going to do, you know, the base of it, you know, where I want to go with it. But I think ultimately I want it to help me, and I want it to help other people as well. Mental health problems are a horrible affliction. There's not enough help out there for people, and I think going through it myself has given me a massive amount of empathy, and it has made me really want to try and help people and help myself. So anyway, I'm not going to go too much further into that, but I will put a link to my new channel in the comments. It is called Living with Anxiety, My Journey, if you'd like to check it out. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next video, guys.